Hey, it's Kristen Shaw with Thrills and Wheels, and I'm in Savannah, Georgia, and we're with Toyota today. I'm here with Adam, Lovelady, Savannah Bugs.
Yes, it's a little bit of rainy, a little bit of bugs. We wanted to give the full experience.
Yes, the whole Savannah experience. So we're going to talk about safety today, and particularly, why would a parent want to buy their child a new driver, a new car, versus a used one? And the reason is safety.
Yes.
So I want you to tell me about Toyota Safety Sense, especially as it relates to the new Corolla, which is, by the way, the most popular selling car in the world.
Best-selling vehicle of all time. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, we're excited to, as you talked about, have Toyota Safety Sense, which is a suite of active safety features that come standard. On Corolla, we have our latest and greatest Toyota Safety Sense 2.0, but across the Toyota lineup, basically everything we have comes with these safety features standard. So we're happy to championship that, and to us it's not optional, right? I'm a father, I totally understand. My kids aren't quite driving yet, but one day that's something my wife and I have already talked about. And with Toyota Safety Sense, there's 6 features that are on this new 2020 Corolla. It's really anchored by our pre-collision system, so the vehicle is constantly monitoring the road ahead to look for a potential accident.
So if somebody's distracted, like a teenager changing the radio station or talking to a friend, it's going to help keep them from the accident.
Yeah, so there's right here we have behind this Toyota logo is a millimeter wave radar that's constantly on and looking forward. We also up here have a forward-facing camera, and these two technologies together are always looking out for the person driving, right? So hopefully people aren't distracted. Hopefully they're not on their phones. Right?
Hopefully, but we
live
know the reality.
We live in reality, right? So they're there, and if there's a potential collision with a vehicle ahead, there's multiple steps of the pre-collision system. It will alert the driver, so it'll beep and warn them, flash on the screen in front of them, and hopefully that's enough. Our studies show that most of the time that's enough for a driver to prevent a collision with a vehicle ahead.
Right.
But if the driver doesn't take action and brake, the vehicle can then apply automatic emergency brakes for the customer to slow the vehicle down and hopefully not hit the vehicle ahead. So this new 2020 Corolla can slow the vehicle up by 37 miles per hour. So that's a pretty significant speed.
Right, that makes a huge difference. That can make a difference between life and death.
Absolutely. So it does it for vehicles, but it also has pedestrian detection. So if a pedestrian walks out in front of you, again, the vehicle should be able to recognize that pedestrian during the day. An enhancement for this car is it can even see them in low light situations. So when you're driving at night with your headlights on, it should be able to pick up a pedestrian, and again, if needed, right, if the driver doesn't take the action, it warns them, then it can apply the brakes and hopefully prevent that. As well as bicycles. So we've added bicycles during the day, whether they're crossing in front or they're in the same lane as you. So that's really the big anchor, right? We don't want people to run into things, so we have these pre-collision systems. And again, it's standard, no extra cost. You don't have to pay for a special package. Everyone who buys a Corolla, these Corollas start under $20,000. We know it's a lot of people's first vehicle, a lot of teenagers' first vehicle, and we want to be there to support them. We don't want to replace the driver, and we don't want the teenagers or any drivers to rely on this, but it's there as a backup, as kind of a co-pilot to assist them if they were to get distracted.
Right, and we were talking about bicycles. I kind of think of it as training wheels. Like, teen drivers are very inexperienced. They don't understand all the ins and outs of defensive driving. There's things they don't think about, and there's a lot of different things that are going on. There's a lot of moving parts, literally and figuratively.
Yes.
So these help them avoid crashes, because teen fatalities on the road is still the leading cause of death for teenagers.
Yeah, and so the pre-collision system is very important, and it's going to help those drivers. Speaking of fatalities, the most fatal type of accidents are those of unwanted lane departures, right? Rear-ending accidents are not good, and they can definitely be serious. But it's typically when you leave your lane or you leave the road on the highway that you really see those fatality numbers really skyrocket. Mm-hmm. So another standard feature of Toyota Safety Sense is the lane departure alert with steering assist. So if the vehicle feels like you're on a trajectory to leave your lane, again, it's going to alert the driver, and depending on the scenario, it will also steer the vehicle back into the lane to hopefully keep you centered and not off the road or not into another car. So that's a fantastic feature. And we know people are sensitive to how these systems work. So we have made multiple settings, right? We don't want people to turn them off. We want them to use them. And these technologies will definitely save lives, but we want them to understand how they work. So we've got buttons on the steering wheel so you can turn these systems on and off, or you can go in and change the settings. Maybe it's as you're getting to the line versus like before you get to the line. So we want to do that for our customers. So lane departures there. Another big one, we have automatic high beams. So you engage the system and it will automatically switch between high and low beams. And if there's a vehicle ahead, it's not going to blind them. It'll pick up their lights or their tail lights and then switch to low. And then once they're gone, it'll switch back to high. So better visibility at night is always great. Some cool new features for this TSS 2.0 is road sign assist. So that forward-facing camera is going to be looking for physical road signs. So speed limits, stop signs, yield signs, do not enter. And it's going to read it and then display it on the screen for the customer. If they happen to miss it, or again, hopefully they're not distracted, but maybe they were, it's there as a reminder. Or maybe it's a new road and it's not in the GPS or that kind of thing. It's there to help that customer. Another one is cruise control. We all take long road trips, and sometimes that takes a lot of strain and there's a lot of driver fatigue. So this car has adaptive cruise control system. So it's our dynamic radar cruise control where, for example, you're on the highway and you set the speed for 65 because that's the speed limit, right?
Right.
And so you're setting it at that speed limit and you're going, but there's a slower vehicle in your lane going 55. The vehicle will slow down. You don't have to touch the brakes. It'll slow down and maintain a preset distance from you. And again, these are adjustable. We've got multiple settings, so you can be closer if you want, all of which we feel are safe. And then it will maintain that distance for you. And it's kind of nice on a long road trip to allow the system to do that for you. And then if that car gets out of the way, you'll speed back up to that preset speed, so say back to 65. So that's really cool. And this one will even go all the way down to 0. So if you're following a vehicle ahead, or there's a congestion or traffic accident on the highway, it can slow all the way down to 0 and maintain that distance. And if that vehicle starts going again, it will, it can resume following. So some cool technologies.
And I like that they're all standard.
Yes.
You're not
standard.
saying, hey, you want safety, pay a little more.
Yes.
You're saying it's all included in the package, and the base price is under $20,000. So for a first car, it's really smart.
Absolutely.
And it's efficient. It comes in how many trims?
So we have our L, LE, XLE. We're introducing the first ever Corolla Hybrid, which is what we're standing in front of. So we're very thrilled to be bringing a affordable hybrid to our customers with great styling, great technology.
53 miles per gallon?
53 miles per gallon on the city and 52 on the highway. And then we have sport grades that have bigger engines, sport tuned suspension. We have a manual transmission still available on Corolla, and so that is our SE and our XSE. And then we have a Corolla hatchback as well that
I drove that.
Yeah, it's lots of fun. It looks really good.
Fun.
It's a great first-time buyer car, and our numbers show that 24% of our customers who buy a Corolla are first-time buyers. So it's going to end up in the hands of a lot of first-time buyers, a lot of teenagers, and Toyota's safety sense of these features. Again, as a dad, I'm thrilled that they're something that are standard, that can be as a support, right? We want the teenagers and the drivers to do it themselves, but they have kind of that guardian angel behind the wheel to be a backup. Yeah,
and if it can save their lives, that's really important. I think there's a perception with parents, and I know when I was growing up, like, teenagers should have a big beater car and it should be big. I was having this conversation with another mom not too long ago, like, I want my kid to be in a big station wagon or like a big truck or something, so if they get hit, they're not going to get hurt. What could you say about the Corolla? Is not a huge car. It's not a big car. It's much bigger than it used to be.
I totally understand that. I was in the same boat. I got the hand-me-down, and I was just happy to have something. But technology is always improving, right? We've been able to put Toyota Safety Sense on basically every Toyota we sell in the U.S. It's standard on every Corolla. It's fantastic. So those are our active safety things, right? So we've got those 6 features. The one we didn't talk about was lane tracing assist, where it steers itself, or it helps steer helps the driver stay centered in their lane on the highway, which is a great feature to keep you on the road and not have an unwanted lane departure accident. But so those are active safety, but we have passive safety, right? This vehicle has 8 airbags. You know, it's got a driver's knee airbag to prevent submarining, right? Like those are all things
Right.
like that we are important, and we look and we do crash tests, and you know, this vehicle has not been crash tested yet. You know, we don't have those certifications yet, but the Corolla hatchback has, and it's a top safety pick. So to get those, you need the active safety, but the passive safety of the crumple zones. You know,
Right.
I grew up in a family where, like, I wish they didn't build them like they used to, right? Like, you get in an accident and it's totaled, and you know, my mentality has definitely shifted. You
And
know,
that's not even true, right? If you look at the crash tests from the 50s,
yeah.
like the crumple zones weren't nearly as good as they
Yeah,
are now.
yeah.
And this high strength steel now.
All that momentum went into the person instead of the car taking
Right.
it. So now we have these crumple zones, and it's protecting the customer. You can replace a car, right? You have insurance, but I
Right.
can't replace one of my kids.
That's right.
And that, you know, to me, it's not going to be optional when it comes to that point. You know, that's 10 years or so in the future, and it'll probably be on everything. But we're happy to champion that now. And you know, the previous Corolla that we're replacing had these features as well. You know, but we're excited to bring more and enhancements. And like, to your point, this is a great first-time buyer. It's under 20,000. Our numbers show that there will be a lot of new drivers driving this, and you know, I'm not going to skimp out on safety when it comes to my kids.
Yeah, I don't blame you. So I've gotten to drive this. It's fun to drive. It's nimble. It's agile, and I think teenagers will really enjoy it. I'm going to talk a little bit later about the optional JBL audio package, which is fun for a
Yeah,
music person like myself, and I will tell you more about it later. Thanks, Adam.
absolutely. Thank you.